The pharaoh Narmer is attributed as the founder of the first dynasty of Egypt. Around the year 3100 BC, in the archaic period of ancient Egypt or Thinite period, the ancient Egyptian civilization, one of the longest lived in the history of mankind, was born around the Nile River. It was then called Kemet, which translates as the Black Earth. Some Egyptologists consider Narmer as the direct successor of the kings Ka II and Scorpion II, who ruled in the predynastic period. There is today a debate about his identity, as some scholars associate him with Menes of Thinis, who is also credited with the unification of Egypt as the first pharaoh. So he was probably the same king, the unifier of Upper and Lower Egypt. That is, the geographical duality around the vast river, in whose south was Upper Egypt with its narrow, fertile banks, also assumed as the cradle of Egyptian civilization, and in the north was located the Nile Delta, Lower Egypt, the valley with its floodplains. These were the two lands that made up ancient Egypt, and Pharaoh Narmer had the audacity to unify them under his sovereignty. This fact is considered as the end of prehistoric Egypt. This is known after the discovery of one of the oldest documents known about that empire. The British Egyptologist James Quibble discovered in 1898 in Hierakonpolis, Nekhen, in the temple of Edfu dedicated to Horus, the Narmer Palette, where he is seen wearing first the white crown of Upper Egypt and then the red crown of Lower Egypt, making him the first pharaoh to rule all the Egyptian territories, unification that was ratified with the foundation of the city of Inebu Hedj, White Walls, the future Memphis, a fact that was also a demonstration of power over Lower Egypt, as the city was a strategic point for the domination of the entire delta, including trade routes to the Sinai Peninsula and Canaan, according to the famous historian Herodotus. For its construction, the pharaoh ordered to divert to the south the course of the Nile and to raise a dam to contain it. As for his family and personal life, it is known that being a native of Thinis, the capital of Upper Egypt, he had a strategic marriage with Nithotep from Nakada, a fact that sealed the alliance between the two cities. On the other hand, according to legendary tradition, he had been sent by the gods with whom he was related. And the foundational act of unifying the territories of Egypt, the two lands, had also opened the way to writing, art, agriculture, and various craft techniques. The Narmer Palette was a fundamental find because it portrays the history of the conquest of the delta. It measures 64 cm high by 42 cm wide, is made of green schist and is perfectly preserved in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. It has two sides and is considered a foundational document. There, Narmer is seen striking one of his enemies, while two others lie at his feet. He is also seen inspecting the battlefield, where two rows of decapitated victims lie, symbol of military victory. There is even the falcon god, Horus, symbol of royalty, perched on a papyrus plant representing Lower Egypt. In the second side, the unified land is portrayed. Here the pharaoh has the double crown and is accompanied by a sandal holder, a vizier and 4 standard bearers from different provinces. In the lower part there are 2 serpopards, mythological creatures with the neck of a serpent and the body of a lioness. Their intertwined necks are a symbol of unification. At the bottom is a bull with large and robust horns, which is the symbol and royal title of Narmer, mighty bull of Maat, who crushes an enemy kneeling before Horus and demolishes the walls of his city. Narmer is always represented in hieroglyphs, ceramics, statues and seals, with one or the other crown, which means that probably in his reign, the definitive union had not yet been established. The fundamental thing about this palette is that it set the tone for successive Egyptian pharaohs to want to be represented with their just and powerful sovereignty, capable of overthrowing any foreign enemy who dared to invade Egypt, such as the Libyan and Asian peoples who tried to settle in the delta, for example. Moreover, the history portrayed on the palette has been contrasted with an inscription found at Abydos in 1993 describing the same event. During his mandate, expeditions were made to the Kingdom of Kush, present-day Sudan. On the other hand, thanks to the works of containment of the Nile with dikes, he managed to enlarge the delta so that the desert land was filled with silt, which generated agricultural wealth thanks to rich minerals from Upper Egypt. He channeled the Nile into a lake, apparently Lake Moeris or Karun, the first artificial lake in the world. All this made the empire prosperous. Also among his works is the temple to Ptah. The controversy about his identity is such that it is not known for sure how long his mandate lasted. Some say he reigned 62 years, like Julius Africanus and Eratosthenes, or 60 years according to Herodotus and George Syncellus. But there is also the Armenian theory of Eusebius of Caesarea, which assigns him 30 years as pharaoh. It is believed that he died crushed by a hippopotamus in a hunt and is attributed to the tomb B17-18 in Abydos, in the necropolis el-Kab, located next to the tomb of Hor-Aha, the second pharaoh of the first dynasty. In that tomb appeared a fragment inscribed in ivory, representing an Asian paying homage to him, which corroborates the dominance of this warrior monarch as conqueror and protector of the Egyptian empire. Don't close the video yet. Before you go, please subscribe and leave us a like. If you like the video, it will help us grow and keep making much more content. Now, with nothing more to add, we say goodbye.